Hello and welcome to my third ever collection update tour video. It was meant to be June 2025, but once again we've fallen into July. It's also officially the 1 year of me doing this, which will be fun to see the difference, because I think last year I had 3 little binders like this, and now we have all of this. It's been a very growing. It's been a year of a lot of growth and introductions of collections, but yes, this is going to be basically me going through all my binders, explaining the collections that I do have, I don't have, what my plans of sort of continuing them are for. It's just sort of like a mid-year update. There may be a few cards in here that you notice that haven't been in storing videos yet. That's just because I don't have enough cards for what I want to film a storing video, but I've had some of these cards for over a month now, so they are a part of this and I want them to be in the collection. But if you spot something you think, I've not seen that one been stored, they will be coming back out of the binders after this and will be stored at a later date. But yeah, I have no idea what order I want to do this in, because when I store, I have an order. I'll probably figure it out, and well, I mean, you'll know in a second because there'll probably be timestamps. But yeah, collection updates, yay. Okay, so I'm kind of going to do these in categories because a lot of my bigger collections have multiple binders. So what I'm going to do first, I'm going to start with this little stack of binders. These are my miscellaneous binders, or just binders that have more than one grouping, and it's sort of categorized as to why they're split up certain ways, which I'll explain as we go through them. But we're going to start with this collect book. This was my first ever quote-unquote binder that I had back when I just kept my XH balls before I started collecting them. But yeah, so this is mainly just cards of people I don't collect but I don't want to get rid of. So I like this Taesan one. This is a VidCon tour card, and then the remnants of my Xion collection. And then some Mark NCT cards that I got. Sorry, my hair is starting to up. As I was saying, just some Mark cards that I got back before I properly got into NCT, and I just thought, I'll pick up a few cards and sort of see as I get into them if I'm going to want to keep them. And yeah, Marcus is not my bias anymore. I still love him though, so I'm debating whether to keep these cards or pass them on to someone else who might need them there for their collection. But for now, they're living here with my few Xions and these other random cards. Right, so onto the first of these sparkly A5 binders. I've also just noticed that the lighting is kind of low-key arse, so I do apologise, but we're on the floor, so I can't really do much about it. So this is my miscellaneous boy group binder. I call it that because my other miscellaneous binder has any female artists I collect, so Kard and then Chungha. But in here we have XLOV. I've got their completed debut. For their comeback, I have pre-ordered a signed version, which has not made it to me yet, but I will be trying to collect that fully as well. I just want to see what version of the signed thing I get before I order anything else. Then we have my little NCT section. So yeah, I kind of collecting a bit of perfume. Jungwoo is my bias, so I got this card to take to SM Town with me, and then at SM Town I bought 2 of the 127 fortune packs, and this is sort of what this page is. This isn't like a proper collection. I think I mentioned before I'll probably collect perfume, and then maybe other things for Jungwoo and possibly Johnny, because yeah, it's just sort of one where I'm not sort of solid on what I want to collect yet, apart from I want to collect perfume because I love perfume as an album. Yes, so that's NCT. Then we go into BoyNextDoor. For BoyNextDoor, I collect Jaehyun and Unek. At first I just collected Jaehyun, but then once we sort of got past How era, I came to just love them both. So this collection isn't something I take very, very seriously, just because I have lots of other things to keep up with. So I just kind of pick up what I can when I can, and it's a bit of a slow progress collection, but I'm happy with what I've got. And I like to buy their actual albums as and when I find them, so we shall see. But yes, this is my little BoyNextDoor collection, and that is all for this binder. And into the second binder. This is my, I guess, female idol binder, although cards are in here. So it's a bit of a interesting one. I don't collect as many female idols as I'd want to. Unfortunately, just like boy groups in general, that like my brain attaches to them a lot quicker than girl groups. So by the time I get into a girl group, like I did with Everglow and Shion, I'm so far behind that I start collecting them and then I feel really overwhelmed and then I just drop it completely and keep the remnants of like my favourite cards. However, one idol that has managed to defeat all of that is Chungha. This front page are just like random miscellaneous cards. That is my pull from Hands on Me, and then these just random ones I picked up. I've got something on the way from here. Thankfully, a lot of her albums do come in sets. Those, it's like I got a copy of Play, and I got her full set, and then Currencia. I'm hoping I'm not butchering that too badly, because I know that's definitely not how you say it, but that's just how I say it, like how I talk. I managed to get one of her sets beforehand, and then a copy of the album with the other set, so that's fully completed. And then this is the set that came with her latest release, Alivio. Yeah, there's accents on the letters, I'm not saying that properly, but anyway, yeah, Chungha is another one where I try and buy a copy of the album, and if there's something to pull, you know, I pull one and then try and find the other cards, but most of them, or a couple of them, do current sets, so it's a bit less stressful. But I love Chungha, so she survives as, you know, the main female idol I collect. So then on to card. This is the ATEEZ. When I first properly got into them, I'd heard of them at first because when I first got into K-pop I was like, why are there no boy girl groups? I listened to a bit of their music, but I wasn't collecting properly at the time. But then I built their Icky special version, and then these other cards from Icky I've managed to pick up. We're almost there. I'm just missing a few units at Somin. Yeah. And then we have Where To Now, which I have got fully complete. And then these are just some older EVA cards I have. These are tour cards. When I went on the Europe tour last year, and then these are from BM's ATEEZ show in London he did. So cards just kind of one where when they do a newer release, I have picked it up, at least for the last 2 years. I don't think the new release is a physical release. Drift, I think it's called. And that's my card collection. Kind of complete for the newer eras, older eras. Anybody who tries to collect cards know how much of a struggle it is. But yeah, so they live in here with Chungha. Yay! On to the final miscellaneous binder. Okay, so this is my final miscellaneous binder, which I still need to decorate. I need to decorate all my binders still. But we're getting there. I am slowly gaining the confidence with myself mentally to be like, yes, I can stick stickers on here and I will not ruin it completely. It's just, by the end of the year, I will hopefully have actually decorated things. But yeah, I call this a miscellaneous binder just because it's where I stick all my larger inclusions. So we've got like some XH stuff from Live Lark, like the trading cards and the film slide things. Can you like stay in the thing, please? And then we have like some ZB1, some ATEEZ, more ATEEZ, BoyNextDoor. It's just kind of all of my bigger inclusions that I don't want rotting in the album. I take out some ZB1 again, a bit of All Hours, card. I just try and, if anything can fit in here, I'll pop them in here. Yeah, and then some Chungha stuff, and then that which I was gifted. Yeah. So it's kind of a bit of a mess in here, but it helped me keep the bigger inclusions that I want, not like, you know, just sitting in the album out. There's things I need to put in here, it's just sometimes I can't be bothered. But yes, so that's all the miscellaneous binders done. Now going on to groups I collect, which only have one binder. So this is my All Hours binder. I love All Hours as a group, and when I first managed to find their cards on Macari, because the sets were so cheap, I just kind of picked up whatever I could for them. But as you will see with how I've set this up, so here are where most of the members live. I'm doing them in either order. As you can see, I've got quite a few from All Hours, and then I've got bits and pieces from Witness, and then this is a pub set. And then for Smoke Point, I've only got a few cards. I've actually just got my pulls from the one version of the album I have. However, if I get rid of that, hair, which isn't even mine because my hair's pink at the moment. If we go back to the front, you'll see I've got Kuno at the front. This is the leader of all ours. And Kuno is my bias. That's why he's got like extra povs. With him, I do want to collect his album cards fully and then just sort of pick up povs I think are cute. So debut I've got complete. I just need 2 more cards for Witness. And then I've only got 1 of his. Is it 4 or is it 5? I think it's 6 cards. There's 4 actual photo cards. There's like a first press card and then like a heat card for Smoke Point. But yeah, so it's another one though where the market in the UK for all hours cards is like non-existent, so I have to get them from Macari, and I don't do that very often. So this is probably a binder which we won't see very often, but I just want it known that I love Kuno. Bring back blonde Kuno, please, for my mental health. And I'm still a little bit miffed that they don't come near me on the Europe tour, but you know, I went to SM Down instead, so you know, swings and roundabouts. But yes, this is this binder. It's very small, it's very tiny, and they don't really need to be in here, but I don't want them in that boy groups binder because there's too many cards. But yes, that's all for this one. Now this is a binder which has been introduced in the last year and has gone through so many changes. It just shows how indecisive I am. But this is my ATEEZ binder. I've got a little keyring for it now, which I actually got it at SM Town, which is quite funny. But if I remember, I'll put the shop name of where the people I got it from on because it's so cute. But yes, so ATEEZ. This is a weird one to explain. So this is like my debut page, and then we go into like newest comeback backwards. So I collect Hongjoong and Wooyoung. Not very well, because ATEEZ had so many cards, and then Golden Hour Part 3 was coming out, so I wasn't buying any of the older cards to save up for that, and then Golden Hour Part 3 has just kind of been a bit of a shit show. So I should have time to do a bit of catching up. But yeah, so this is like Golden Hour Part 1. Wooyoung's main version cards for Golden Hour Part 1 are done. It's just his digipacks and then his pokers and then his whatever the other version is. I'm like struggle buzzing on, but you know, I'm much better at collecting Wooyoung for the newer eras than I am Hongjoong and Hongjoong for the older eras. But yeah, so it's just sort of these 2 topaz live at the front, and if I have both cards I put them together so I can sort of see. Yes. Then I have some of their tour cards because I did get to see ATEEZ in January. Then like some ATEEZ cards because I've got Hongjoong's Big June Grammy, and then I managed to pull this with my little ATEEZ keyrings. That's a Wooyoung broadcast card. I have also ordered Hongjoong's Mighty's thing, so I should have a card to go in that spot. Right, then for the other members. So at first I was very delusional and I went to collect OT8. And then driving lessons and university just took all my money, so I still have some remnants of that. But what I decided is that Spin-Off was the era that I first like really noticed ATEEZ because of Halazia. I didn't start collecting them. I didn't like start becoming an active 18E until Golden Hour Part 1. I know, late to the party. Don't even get me started on that. Like ATEEZ NCT, like, you know. But you know, it just means I have lots and lots of content to consume. But basically, Spin-Off is the era that got me into them. I want to still collect that as like full OT8. Obviously, whilst they're in this teeny tiny little binder, it's a bit of a struggle. So I kind of just have pulls and pick them up. And then for some eras, I've got like OT8 sets. It's all lists that I have that I do not want to bore you with. So here's my song class section. And then we have Yuno. And there are some where it's like a top 4 set, so that is, if I'm remembering correctly off the top of my head, it's Hongjoong, Wooyoung, and then it's Yuno. And who did I put? What is it? It's not Songway, it's something. I think I might put, yeah. When I started doing it, I think I put it down as Yosang. And it definitely, well, even if I didn't, it's now Yosang. My top 4 is like Hongjoong, Wooyoung, Yuno, and Yosang. So even if like I plan not to collect Yosang, that's what I'm going to do now. That's a Yuno tour card. That's a pub I don't need. Yeah, it's definitely Yosang. God, getting me buying. Well, it's not. I forgot my bias line. It's just I forgot if I'd actually set that up correctly, and I was about to have like a mental panic that I hadn't set my list up and I'd like ordered things wrong. But Mingy and then Jungkook. So the toucans live in here, and their special little binder, which I was actually got for very, very cheap. And then I have this like little sparkly card on the front. But for ATEEZ, I'm basically just gonna keep trying to pick off Hongyoon and Uyoung for Golden Hour Part 1 and 2. If Golden Hour Part 3 sorts itself off and stops just being silly US exclusives and like Hello HD2 stuff, and just once it sorts itself out, I should hopefully also get some cards from that era for them. We'll see what happens with the In Your Fantasy version. And then for the other 6 members, I'm just going to try and get their spin-off cards and add them to here. But yes, so that was the last binder. For a group, I only have one. No, it's not. I'm lying through math. Fucking teeth. Well, on to ZB1 next. I think sometimes because this binder I did specifically buy for ZB1, I forget that it is the only ZB1 binder I have. So I almost always class them and Xdinary Heroes in the same group, like binder wise, even though this is like the same as ATEEZ. I have one binder for them. But yeah, so this is my ZB1 binder. I have Zerobaseone keyrings because I didn't actually get any actual Zerobaseones crying on the inside. But yes, so for Zerobaseone, I collect 2 bins. I collect Hanbin and I collect Gyuvin. Gyuvin is my main bias, Hanbin is my second bias. But I love them both, so they're fully complete for debut. And Melting Point. I also collect the Japanese releases, so I have Yora complete, including the unit, and then we go on to You Had Me at Hello, which is also complete. Then Cinema Paradise, which is now complete because my Shimkong's unit came in, so yes, that's all complete. Then we have Present, which is their most recent Japanese comeback. I say that as if it isn't like 4 or 5 months old now. I have a few of Gyuvin's on the way. It just hasn't really been a priority because, you know, everyone was saving up for their World Tour, which they're now like, I don't even want to talk about, but yeah. Then on to Blue Paradise, and I have a few Hanbin cards, I have a Gyuvin card. I just want to take my time with Blue Paradise and Present. If those are going to be like the last comebacks respectively for ZB1, I kind of want to be able to take my time and finish my collection for this group that I love so much when I want to, not when Wake One says fuck you all, we're not. Yeah. Then I have like a pop section. So these are their pops from this first season's greeting. The 2024 season's greetings? Was this their first season's greetings? I think so. I don't actually own their season's greetings, but I've got 2 sets of pops because, are you kidding me? Then we have debut pops, Fancom pops, Melting Point pops. Just sort of, that's a wet sleeve. Why are we wet? Ooh. Fair enough. Right, and then we have You Have It Hello pubs. You Have It Hello going into Cinema Paradise. I got a load for Melting Point because that was the first one where like I had money to actively buy like a lot of the pubs for it. You Have It Hello, I've got just some cute ones because they had so many that year I just couldn't keep up. Cinema Paradise. Pubs got expensive for no reason, and I've got no like sets of Blue Paradise, but I will get some eventually. Then I have this section which is like pubs where I've only got one of the 2 members. So we have like Gyuvin's Alcohol, the cards, his Polar, Hanbin's Melting Point Squid card, like Angry Octopus card. It's so cute. Then we have a lot of Gyuvin. As I said, he is my main bias for Melting Point. Then we have his Euro pub. I was getting both of them, but I just could not find Hanbin's anywhere for anything reasonable. My one You Have It Hello pub, again I couldn't find Hanbin's, so that's like the row of sorrow. Some other cute Gyuvin pubs, some more. I do have more Gyuvin pubs on the way, so that's fun. And then this is my Zhang Hao collection, because originally I collected my top 3, which was Hao, Hanbin and Gyuvin, because originally my buyer's saying went Hao, Gyuvin, Hanbin, and then Kim Gyuvin just kind of he just took the reins. He gave me no choice. Because what I did is I went back and I rewatched the entirety of Boys Planet, and this time, because obviously I know the debut members, I was able to pick them out a bit better, and I just fell in love with Kevin Gavin to a maybe mildly concerning extent. But yeah, so I still loved how, so I kept all his debut cards, and then a few Pob and melting point cards that I really liked and I couldn't get rid of. I know made this joke in another video, but it just seems I really like how when he has dark hair. And then I also have this blue Paradise unit on the back here. I pulled it in my album. It was the one unit that doesn't have either Hanbin or Cubin in, but I don't want to get rid of it because then when I get all three, I'll have like the whole group and like a matching unit set, and yeah. So they live on the back of here. But yeah, so that's my ZB1 collection. It's probably, if like you did it based on percentages, my most complete collection, which is quite funny considering this time last year I don't think I even like actively collected them, or if I did I'd only just started. But yeah, ZB1. That's enough depressing talk. Let's move on to my most depressing collection, Xdinary Heroes. Okay, so this is my big baby. This is my baby of the collection. This is my Xdinary Heroes binder. Xdinary Heroes has been my alt. Sorry, I've got a charm on my phone and I didn't want to hit it and then hit the camera. They've been my alt for as long as I can remember, really. I was into Korean music beforehand. EXO were the first group I got like into K-pop with, but XH are what got me into collecting. I collect ATEEZ because I'm a maniac. So I have Debut and Hello World, and then Overload. That's a US exclusive card. Then we've got Deadlock, which is fully complete. And then we've got the pre-order units from Deadlock. And the last two sets from Deadlock. Then we move on to Live Lock, and this is where things aren't fully complete anymore, which is really annoying. I'm missing ATEEZ and Junhan's red digipack cards. At this point, I'm just gonna buy a digipack and hope to God I can pull them, because I just never see these cards on sale anywhere. Like, I get his because it's really cute. He's doing like a little peace sign just with his two fingers, and he like has them over like that, and his nails are painted pink, and it's gorgeous. And then Junhan's is kind of just, he's looking at the camera a slightly different way, so I always see that one and I think, oh, and then it's not him, and it just, I need these cards differently, because it's not so much as like, I just want this page to be done so I can move on from this era. But yeah, these are the IDs that came with them, and then I might put the 2 units so I could have all 6 members on the page. These are the rest of the pre-order units. I'm just missing one. There was a bit of fluff there. This version of Live Lock is complete though, the blue version. Then we have Troubleshooting. I'm missing one card for this version. It's Junhan with Popcorn. So, wish me luck finding that without it being a ridiculous price, because I have seen it a few times, but it's just been like, I'm not paying that much for a album card. Then we have the like platform version sets, or Nemo, whatever they're called, the little where you don't get a CD, you get a QR code. Then we have this version where I'm just missing this one. It's similar to Junhan's where I've seen it, but it's just been a silly price. I don't know why though, because he's actually just doing like that. But maybe one day I'll just fork out and get them both. But yes, then we have a similar thing again of like the platform sets. Right, and then their QR codes, and then this is where it, because those are pretty complete, this is where it like falls off. This Live and Full was the first comeback they had whilst I was at university, so it was a bit of a struggle because, you know, my entire finances were different. So I'm still collecting OT6, it's a lot more slow going than I personally like it to be, because when I don't have Xdinary Heroes cards, before I used to be fine and I just kind of wait until I found them, but because I've got that situation with Live Lock where I do not see those cards ever, I am now worried that I'm going to get a similar situation with these cards. But yeah, especially these bloody tabloid version cards. Like, what do you mean there's 12 cards for one version, and you only get one. In the big version as well, it was just, yeah. It's good old JYP, you know. There's Unix, and we have the full version, which, well, I mean, this page doesn't look too bad. This page is so depressing. And then again with the full platform sets. Now, Beautiful Mind, I love it as an album so much, but I literally just have my album pulls and one card on the way. So yeah. As I've started collecting more groups, you can sort of see that like it's spread out more, so these guys aren't as complete for their newer stuff, but the next release is a digital single, and hopefully they'll follow the same pattern they followed for like the last 2 or 3 years of like a March, April release, an October, November release, so I've got time to catch up. And then these are the pages where I'll put the Nemo film stuff on, but I've not gotten those versions yet because that's how behind I am. But yeah, this is my XH binder. I love the sillies so much. I've got his Xmon coming in the autumn, and I'm so excited because they finally get like a cuddly thing, and yeah. But yeah, so let me just flip back to here. Like the other ones, I probably will decorate the front of this binder at some point, just not at the moment. Apologies for such a drastic cut. My phone storage said like no today, so we're back a few hours later and it should be a bit sorted. So this is my OT6 merch binder for when I used to collect OT6 merch fully for XH. Now I just mainly collect odes, but we have a few things like fan meet, overload, fan club stuff, light stick stuff. They don't call it season book greetings, they call it yearbooks. I've got all of those for them, and then I've got the tour VIP cards from the York tour, and this at the front is just the key rings from the first comeback. But yeah, that's all that was in that binder, and I hope and pray I'm just going to do this all in one clip. This next one is where I've moved their pops to, since they don't fit in the back of the purple binder anymore. For everyone apart from O's, so we've got Vanille, goes there, and Jungsu. So yeah, I used to collect like a lot of OT6 sets for the pops. But then as I started doing more and more and like just collecting like 18 pubs for an era plus anything extra I wanted for Ode, it just wasn't something I could do as I expanded my collections a bit more. This is Junhan. So now I typically just keep whoever I pull in and try and get Odes, and then Juyeon. Yeah, the only one that I'm still actively searching for is for Juyeon. I would like the... This is like the the Overload Soundwave one, because I have everybody bar his. So if I could get that and then complete a set, that'd be nice. That's my one like non-Ode pop thing. But speaking of Ode pops, the last binder is this blue one, and it's where I keep my Ode extra cards. I like everything else. I do want to decorate it eventually. I just haven't got around to it yet. But here we have the Hello World pubs. That's all of like the regular ones. The rest are all like polar styles or scratch cards. So that's pretty complete. Then we have a page of wonky Overload cards. Then we have like all the fillers and stuff. We go into Deadlock, Live Lock, Troubleshooting, Live and Fall, and I haven't even set up for Beautiful Mind because I don't have pages for that. And then this is like the merch stuff. The lighting's awful, but that's a clear card. These are from Shopee, the Shopee Thailand collab they did. These are like tour. These are from their open beta, closed beta things, and similarly. And then that's from their yearbook merch MD. And then at the back here, I have some like double-sided fan-made card things that I just have odes for, and some little silly things to quote the other members. And then I've moved their like photo card size trading cards that they do to the back of here, because it fits a bit better, plus their circle cards from Live Lock and their stickers from Live Lock. But yeah, so that's everything. Sorry for like the worst quality, bad lighting and kind of rushness of this last clip for the last 3 binders. I probably won't collect any more OT6 sets unless I find them good prices. O's, pubs, merch, I just try and pick up when I can, and I've got spots for most of them, and anything that I don't have a spot for, I'll make a spot for, like Beautiful Mind or anything that I missed on, like when looking at the checklist. But yeah, that's really sort of it. So thank you for watching. Hopefully this has been clear enough. If you have got any questions about anything I collect or where any cards are from, I can try and help if you let me know. But yes, thank you for watching, and I happy 1 year to this silly Billy channel. Woo! Okay, bye bye.